Hello and welcome to another episode of Silence is Golden. I'm Simon Kelly.
And I'm Troy Dean.
And today what we're going to take a look at is a bit of a year in review of WordPress, how far it's come with new features and developments, comparing it against some other website builders out there. And we're also going to have a chat about our predictions for WordPress in 2018. Stay with us. Welcome to Silence is Golden, Troy. How you doing?
I'm very well, Simon. How are you, bro?
Good. Yeah, cheers, bro. Doing well. Today we're going to have a bit of a look at how far WordPress has come in 2017. A bit of a recap. So the very first thing really is like features based. I'm really interested to see how far it's come as compared to like other website builders like Squarespace, Wix, Weebly, and just see where it's going. If its trajectory and its market share is still kind of as upwards facing as it once was. Mm-hmm. So
I believe you've got some charts for us to look at.
I have some charts, yeah.
Fantastic. So I love a good chart, especially on the 19th of December. Big fan of looking at charts on the 19th of December.
Is there something in that I should know about?
I don't know. No? I just think it's a bit late in the year to be looking at charts, that's all.
No, perfect time. Wrapping it up with charts.
I did request some Prosecco from the bottle shop and that hasn't arrived yet. Now you want me to look at charts.
That's it, yeah.
The 19th of December.
Prosecco first.
Okay.
Okay, so I've got a chart here for you, Troy.
Excellent.
And it's CMS usage by built with, and it's for the top 10,000 websites. So you can see WordPress is at 38%. Now, I don't know for sure, but is this the one that they use to say like what WordPress's market share is? You know, they're always talking about what the stat is. I wonder where that actually comes from.
If it was me, I would be using whichever statistics were most favourable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I would probably change them on a weekly basis, depending on which one was most favourable.
You just Photoshop this and just change it.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd make up my own.
Yeah, perfect.
I don't know what statistics they use, but I'll tell you what, why don't I goggle it on the interwebs and I'll try and find out.
Yeah, someone putting this news together probably should have done that, but
probably should have.
That's all right.
Yeah.
So WordPress at 38%. We can see we've got Drupal here coming in second at 8%. And then we've got Joomla, which is much further behind, looking at about 6% there. So this is for the top 10,000 websites.
Top 10,000?
Yes,
right.
Not for the entire internet, which is definitely a different graph. WordPress is at 53% with that one.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I read a statistic recently that said that about 30% of all websites on the internet actually have a content management system. So when we're talking about the fact that WordPress powers 38% of the top 10,000 sites, are we making an assumption that those top 10,000 sites are all built on a CMS?
Yeah, it is for CMS technologies.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
there you go. That would be the heading on the page, CMS and statistics. If I'd read that, I maybe would have known.
Yeah. So I just thought that was interesting. And in terms of growth, I think it hasn't exactly escalated this year by anything majorly. I have another graph. Would you like to take a look at?
I would, please.
So looking at Google Trends now over 2017, and interestingly, WordPress, like the search term WordPress, has actually dropped quite a bit. Yes.
Really?
Which I thought was interesting. Wix is the next one. I've got WordPress, Squarespace, Joomla, Drupal, and Wix here. Wix is the next one. It stayed pretty consistent. You can't really tell, but Squarespace is gradually increasing, gradually growing market share. Whereas this doesn't indicate that WordPress is losing market share. It just indicates that the searches are becoming less, which is interesting to see what that would indicate. Maybe people don't need as much help as they used to.
Maybe. So I think some of the stats, just to close that loop before, some of the stats might come from w3techs.com, T-E-C-H-S, short for technologies, w3techs.com. I think that's where WordPress get their statistics.
Okay, right.
According to TalkMag, which is the blog, of course, the WP Engine blog, that WordPress powers 29.2% of the internet. This is according to November 2017, and this is from W3Techs. Their charts are not as pretty as built with.
Yeah, I didn't use that because I just saw the website and went, no.
It's not great for television, is it?
No.
But there you go. That's where they might be getting some of their statistics from.
Yeah, cool. So WordPress went from 4.7 to 4.9 this year, had some widget improvements, so a lot of it just improved functionality generally in the widget area. The editor was improved with inline links, The Gutenberg project, of course, is getting a lot of traction there, and it's going to mean potentially big things for WordPress in 2018. Lots of customizer improvements with code checks, scheduling changes, and a code sandbox. If you're in the editor and you're editing code, which you shouldn't be anyway,
correct.
If you create an error, it's actually not going to let you publish that. So they've improved something that you shouldn't be doing, which is great.
Yeah.
Then there's more reliable theme preview and switching.
Why did they just not make that like not possible?
Yeah.
Like you're in the text editor and you start writing. What would you be writing in the text editor besides maybe like some HTML tags?
Yeah,
would you be putting CSS in there, or I mean,
you can edit the plugin code.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you can. That's right.
Yeah.
Why don't they should
just do that live? You know.
They should just put resources into preventing you from doing that, rather than checking your work. There should just be a big pop-up that says, "Go download Coda or Sublime Text 2 and edit your code and learn how to use version control and Beanstalk and GitHub, and don't do this live, you cowboy coder monkey boy. You shouldn't be doing this live."
Maybe you should do a patch or something and have that message in there.
I could do that. Yeah.
Cool. All right, so that bit of the year review. So I'm interested to know, Troy, what you think.
Well, do you think that the developments in WordPress have been developer-centric or they've been end-user-centric?
Well, what I just kind of did the recap on was the end-user kind of things, because otherwise it might get a little bit too intense to do the developer-centric
But even
things.
those features that we were talking about there, it feels to me like it's certainly... My brother, who uses WordPress to blog about live music and video, which are two of his passions, he would not be using the editor to edit code. I hope not. I don't even think will be really getting his head around Gutenberg.
Right.
You know, I still feel like these features are more developer-centric.
Yeah.
I don't think these features make WordPress more user-friendly for the end user. There you go. I've just said it.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a balance that they're trying to have here, because if the WordPress developer and consultants have more tools to create better experiences for their clients, then that's how they can create better usability into WordPress. So I think that is really where WordPress needs to focus, is on giving the consultants, like, which are the bridge between WordPress and clients, I think, giving them the tools they need to make a better experience. So yeah, it's a bit of a balance between both. Gutenberg is definitely going to be a big one in 2018 for sure. In the way that's going to impact WordPress. What do you think about its impact on, we had touched on this in previous episodes, but like how it's going to impact other page builders?
I don't think it will. I can't see that Gutenberg will. I mean, I was on a call the other week with Ben from Elementor, and I'm not actually that familiar with Elementor. I've been using Beaver Builder and the Thrive Architect page builder for a while. And I started to dig into Elementor, and it is a super powerful tool.
Yeah.
It's installed on almost 400,000 domains at this stage. You know, and let me give you one example. If you want to spin up a landing page and plug in a form, and then plug that form into MailChimp to collect subscriber email addresses, you can do all of that within Elementor within a matter of minutes. To do that within WordPress, even with Gutenberg, sure, you can build the page in Gutenberg. You've then got to use a third-party form plugin. You've then got to use another add-on to plug Gravity Forms into MailChimp. The whole thing starts to feel like it's held together with sticky tape and coat hangers. So, you know, something like, I believe the feature set and the way that something like Elementor or Beaver Builder or Thrive Architect or these other plugins and page builders have been developed, they really are solutions. They're not just a page builder. So I personally can't see, I think Gutenberg will allow people who are at an entry level have more control over building their page, but I don't think it will impact at all the commercial success around, you know, Beaver Builder or Elementor or Thrive Architect. And also, those other platforms have such healthy communities of users and developers and third-party extensions. So even Elementor has its own third-party extensions that other development companies make that you can add onto it. And they are little microcosms. They're little micro communities within the WordPress ecosystem. I can't see that Gutenberg will have an impact on them at all.
Yeah, and they're much more mature as well and more flexible. Like, they don't have the constraints that WordPress has.
That's right.
Yeah. They can just move as fast in as many directions as they like, whereas Gutenberg has a lot more eyeballs on it and a lot more control and, you know, people involved to make it work the way it needs to.
Yep. Lee Jackson, by the way. G'day, Lee Jackson. He's tuning in. He says, Elementor is absolutely epic. Beaver Builder still has my heart, but Elementor is my secret crush. He also says that the production value here rocks and is awesome, and he's loving it. Thank you. We're trying something new today. We have done something new today. We're going to see if you guys can pick it. Well, it's actually two things we're doing new. We've got the big lights on. We've got the big fluoro lights on. And I've got a new chair, which if I just close my laptop here, you can see I've got a new, let me just move that. I've got a new bar stool. It's kind of wooden and leather. It's very nice. We think we like it, and we think we're going to get one for Simon.
When I'm old enough, I'll graduate and I'll have one for myself.
You have your own bar stool.
Cheers.
Anyway, we should probably talk a bit more about WordPress.
So, what are some predictions for 2018 for the WordPress consultant, for someone building websites? What are we picking? And we'll meet up again this time next year, and we'll see if we're right.
Well, you know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've got nothing.
That's a good start.
I've got absolutely nothing.
Well, I think what's happening is with premium site builders like Wix and Squarespace growing, and there's ads in the TV about things like this now. I think our clients and our small businesses are becoming much more educated about websites and the website building process. So it's going to be much harder to be someone that builds websites, and that's going to be enough. No longer will that be enough for clients. They'll already most likely had a website, and now they're looking for some kind of business need to be solved. And what can you do? Or how can you structure your business and your offering around helping them along those lines? So whether it be integrating with something else, like into MailChimp, creating landing pages, integrating with some kind of third-party software. So how can you value add? I think that WordPress consultants and people building websites need to be paying a lot more attention to that. I also think it's going to be much harder to sell things like maintenance plans, because clients will just expect that that's part of it. You know, Squarespace aren't selling that you get unlimited backups or whatever their backup situation is, or that their servers are built on CentOS or whatever. Like, it's just part of it, and there's just no conversation about it. So I think that you really need to think about what are the conversations that your clients are having, what are their goals, and trying to be a bit more in line with those.
I agree. I think it's all about value. Now, interestingly, I'm on YouTube right now, and I am looking at a video by our good friend Adam over at wpcrafter.com. I should definitely check out his videos, by the way. He does a fantastic job of teaching non-techies, how to use WordPress. So I'm looking at a video here that says, how to make an e-commerce website with WordPress using WooCommerce and Astra, which is a theme put out by Sujay. In brackets, easy, fast, and free. It's had over 2,000 views on YouTube. He has 36,000 subscribers to his YouTube channel. And interestingly, the commercial at the start of this video is two fine young fellows by the name of Rhett and Link. You might be familiar with them. They have their own YouTube channel and their own YouTube television shows, and they're what you would call YouTubers, I suppose. And they are making an ad at the start of a video which teaches you how to build an e-commerce website on WordPress. They are featured in a commercial for Wix, which is a drag and drop website builder. So Wix's strategy here is to say, hey, anyone searching for how-to stuff around WordPress on YouTube, we're just going to show them a Wix commercial and show them how easy it is to do this stuff in Wix, and you don't need WordPress. So I think you make an interesting point that the building the whole website thing is getting easier, and people's expectations are getting higher. And so our job as WordPress consultants is to truly add value to the conversation, not just be a website builder. Because I hosted a podcast a couple of weeks ago with Stefan Spencer, who's an SEO expert. He was, in fact, one of the authors of the original SEO book with Rand Fishkin from Moz. And a couple of other authors, and he was saying that, you know, in 3 to 5 years' time, a building of a website will be completely robotic. Yeah. You'll literally just go, this is what the website needs to look like, choose a couple of design elements, and it will be done for you. You know, I mean, we're almost there anyway. So the idea of just pitching yourself as a web designer or a web builder is kind of like, you know, being a taxi driver these days.
Yeah,
you know?
That's it.
It's going to be automated within a very short space of time. So our job really is to work out what the value is that we're adding to the client.
Yep.
And even though you can automate the building of a website, the big question is, well, that's great, but what do I put on that website to get my target audience to take the action that I want them to take? And I think that's where we come into play. We can coach our clients through the strategy. So if you you know, if you've had your head in your sand about digital business strategy over the last 5 years because you think it's too hard, I think you really need to get your head around that stuff over the next 12 months and understand that these are the conversations you need to have with your client.
That's right. I think a lot of people get really overwhelmed by that because they're like, I don't know where to learn this. I don't know, where do I even begin? I don't have the skills for that. I think one of the best things that can be done is joining a community where there's like-minded people in there, where you've got complementary skills, so you can kind of learn from each other. So if you're not much of a marketer, but you want to learn about that, join a group where there's some marketers in there, and you can see if you can complement each other's services. So look for some of those communities and join that, where people are talking honestly and openly and can collaborate. So.
Or you could enroll in a local university and do a 3-year Bachelor of Digital Business. Oh, sorry. I thought it was 1954 there for a minute. Of course, don't enroll in a university because whatever they teach you will be redundant by the time you learn it. That's right. Simon is absolutely correct. You know, in fact, when I first met Coach Kath, she said to me, I don't understand the word strategy and I can't sell strategy sessions and I can't talk about strategy to clients because I don't know what strategy means. Now, of course, it's all Kath does. She basically just talks and sells strategy and has a team, her team, that actually do the implementation. So it's just a learning curve, and Simon's absolutely right. Find a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group or a local meetup and go along and listen and learn as much as you can.
Yep, absolutely. I'm just trying to get too overwhelmed.
That's right.
Yeah. Another great way that you can try to get ahead next year is to create some content.
Yes.
I think. So that's our core topic for today is content creation. And what we're going to do is share with you a framework for producing content, not just for yourself, but also for your client. So what we want to start with is like, why create content? Why is it actually important?
Because hello to Jennifer Paganesi on the Facebook Live, and hello to Colleen Grazza from Virginia. There we go. Yes, quote of the day, you cowboy coder monkey boy. That's right. Because people are searching for answers. That is why creating content is important. The last time you used the internet, apart from buying Bitcoin, was probably to search for some information. And here's the thing is that 90 out of the population, everyone searches for content, and yet about 3% of the population are creating content, right? So if you think about it, there's 97% of the world looking for information and only 3% of the world publishing that information.
Wow.
I mean, that's low-hanging fruit. If there was ever low-hanging fruit, that's the definition of it. There's not a lot of competition, really. If you look around at your peers and ask them who is blogging and creating content on a regular basis, not many of them are, because they're overwhelmed or they don't have a strategy in place or they just kind of think it's too hard. The people who are creating content on a regular basis and doing it well and doing it consistently are definitely winning the race. So creating content will help you get leads for your business, it will help you get clients, it will help you get more donors for your charity, it will help you attract business partners and staff, it will help you get asked to speak at conferences, it may even help you find the girl of your dreams or the boy of your dreams. I kid you not, this can actually happen. It may help you start a business like WordPress. WordPress was started because Matt Mullenweg wrote a blog article and Mike Little commented on it and said, I'll help you do this if you want to do this. By the way, Mike Little, co-founder of WordPress, is now working at Human Made.
Oh, wow.
I discovered this recently. Hi, Mike. Hi, gang at Human Made. Hope you're having fun. So creating content is important because it opens up a whole bunch of doors and it's also evergreen. You create a piece of content once and it is on the internet forever.
It doesn't have to be #1 in Google too. I think that's kind of the problem that a lot of people face is, what if it's no good? There's all this content about what I want to write about. I'm just adding to the pile of internet garbage, basically, by adding more content out there. So another benefit that I've found is that when you're having conversations with clients, especially via email or on the phone, you'll be answering their questions. Why not just take those conversations, write a blog post about that, and then send them a link to that blog post? Now, whenever that happens, you can just send a link over and over again. That helps you scale because you can then teach your team to send your clients links to provide support and help as well.
Genius.
It also helps to train your team. Oh no, we're back.
I think my stool's squeaking.
That's it, chuck
it out. Is it mine or yours?
Chuck it out, it's yours.
I have to get some olive oil spray.
So it helps with team training.
Yes, it does, that's right.
So you can create your own training platform that's totally separate to teach your team, or you could actually blog. Oh, it's definitely mine.
It's yours. It's you. You're squeaking. Righto, that's it. Internet shopping. I'm going to have to... Actually, there you go. There's a new segment. We should have an internet shopping segment where we go buy something every week online. I have an internet shopping addiction. I may as well just do it as part of the live stream.
Sounds good.
People can flick in ideas and say, hey, you should buy this, you should buy this, and then I'll just go and buy stuff live on Facebook.
Send us your AppSumo links.
Watch my business partner's hair curl every time I get out the credit card. What do you think?
Perfect. Sounds good.
What are we talking about?
As long as you're buying stuff for me,
that's right.
It's all good. All right, so I'm just having a look in Facebook. We've got a couple of questions about creating content. This question comes from Deanna Patton, which is actually my question, and she just said, I agree. So she says, what kind of content should I be creating for my own business? I think the answer to that, Deanne, is create content that answers the questions that your customers are looking for. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Or I like that. I like what you did there. That was good.
That was Ray made that happen.
That was well played. I also think you should make content to help your staff, as you've mentioned. I still get emails today. If you Google Infusionsoft and ClickFunnels, here we go, let's do it. Infusionsoft and ClickFunnels, if I can spell
Spelling
right.
on point.
Yep, there we go. You will find that accidentally, I come up about number 4 or 5 in the organic results from my own blog, and that's because I needed to teach our staff how to integrate Infusionsoft with ClickFunnels and a little piece of JavaScript we used to make that happen, a very specific topic. That was published in July 17, 2015, and I still get emails from people thanking me for publishing that blog post because it has helped them solve the same problem. Now, there's nothing commercial in that for me other than the fact that I'm building my authority and I had to train my staff how to do it anyway.
Yep. And just the sheer fact that you're ranking on Google helps you to rank better on Google.
That's right, for other topics, exactly.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. More traffic, more exposure, it'll help.
Yeah.
There's definitely no downside, that's for sure.
Right.
Unless your content just stinks, basically. So
which we're going to help you solve that.
That's right, exactly.
Nice segue.
Just one more question. I'm just going to reverse that segue.
Yep.
Creating content that has a CTA, so a call to action, so it's not just infotainment. I think that is definitely important. So just creating content for the sake of creating content is great, and it's fun, and it definitely does have a use. But wouldn't it be great if that content achieves something?
And the easiest thing to offer as a call to action is a checklist which summarizes the content that you've just taught them.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems very easy.
We'll show you an example of that in a
is.
moment. Yeah. It's very straightforward. I mean, here's the thing. You basically need to write an outline of your blog post first before you write it. So just give them the outline as a Google Doc as a call to action. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed this blog post. If you'd like to download the checklist to make sure you get this done, please enter your email address here and I'll fold it up and put it in an envelope and send it to you.
Yeah. So for an example, something like how to get your business listed on Google Maps, and you give the instructions, you know why it's important and everything, and we'll show you the framework in a sec. And then the downloadable for that is the checklist to get listed on Google Maps.
There you go.
Yeah.
Easy.
Easy, easy, easy. So here is the beautifully designed content creation framework.
There we go.
In all its glory.
No expense spared on the design of this bad boy. Look at that.
Use this template to start creating your own content. Perfect time of year, I think, to create your own content because it's something that a lot of WordPress professionals just aren't doing. So when they're settling down a little bit, wrapping things up for the holidays, take some time to create a blog post, to create a piece of content, and just see how it feels, see how you can use this framework to create something useful for your clients and your business.
Yep.
So we kick it off with the promise. Now, the reason that you kick it off with the promise is because you want to capture someone's attention at the very beginning. You want to let them know why it is that it's more important to spend their time right now reading this than it is looking at cat videos. So the only way you're going to do that is by jumping into what they're going to get as part of reading this content. I remember reading something from, I think it was Pat Flynn, talking about his blogging process, and he likes to start with what's the transformation someone's going to get as part of reading. So you get in with that at the beginning, and then they can say, yep, I want that transformation. I want what you're promising right here.
In fact, at the start, you might notice, at the start of this show, we usually start this show by saying, welcome to another episode of Science of Golden. I'm him, he's him. Coming up, we're going to talk about blah, 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 blah. That there is the promise. That is why we want you to tune in for the next 20 minutes, because we have just promised you what we're going to talk about.
That's right.
So there it is in action.
Yeah. We're going to say bro as many times as we can.
Stay
tuned.
Bro. Correct, bro.
Cool. So, for example, with the promise, in this article, you will learn how to increase the conversion rate on your website in 3 simple steps. Right? So the next thing we get into is...
Monte Cristo says, lots of love for this 97:3 ratio. I think he's talking about the video. I don't know. For some reason, he must be watching it on a very big screen. I don't know. What is the 97:3 ratio? Sorry to hijack you again.
Just part
Jasmine
of your
Andrew
role.
says, we can vicariously live out our shiny object obsession through watching me do internet shopping, which is fantastic. And Imogen says, content creation is on her action list to ramp up for 2018. Now, where were we?
This is just part of the show now, is that I try to teach you guys something and then he just will laugh.
I just try and distract Simon as much as possible and he tries to stay on track.
Yep. So good fun. So you can take it from here if you like. So the next part is the problem.
The problem. So what you need to do here is identify with your audience and tell them that you understand their problem. And if you can articulate their problem better than them, then they will automatically credit you with having the solution. So basically this is an empathizing exercise where you say to them, I understand that your problem currently is you are not showing up on Google Places and you might be missing out on local business because of that. Cool.
The problem is creating content is hard and you don't have a framework.
That's right. The problem is you end up looking at a blank page and you feel overwhelmed and you don't know what to do next.
That's right. Yes.
So then what you do is you set, and so this is like the first paragraph of your piece of content is the promise and the problem. Then you go into the process, and you basically teach them 3 to 7 teaching points as part of your process, which is what we're doing here right now. We're actually teaching you the teaching points are the promise, the problem, the process, do's and don'ts, next steps. This is the framework that we're teaching you here. So you have some kind of framework or process that you teach them, and that's about 70% of your actual content, Once you've taught them the process, you then just go through the do's and the don'ts. And also in the process, there's no need to go, I mean, unless you're writing an epic blog post, which is like, those skyscraper blog posts that are like 5,000 words, which that's its own strategy. But the average blog post, you can just kind of teach them what they need to do without going into too many details about the how. Ideally, what they should be doing is hiring you to learn how to do it or how to just get it done for them. Then you go into the do's and don'ts. So once you've gone through the process, then you go into the do's and don'ts where you basically explain the rookie mistakes that they should avoid and the advanced tips for the power users, because some people engaging with your content might be saying, all right, well, that's good. I already know that. It's pretty obvious. So you give them some kind of advanced tip at the end. And then finally, the next steps or the call to action. What do you want them to do next? For us, we want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook and share this with your friends. For you, it might be we want you to, you want them to download the call to action. In fact, we're going to give you this framework, no opt-in required. Just go to wpelevation.com/content-framework and you can download this Google Doc yourself so that you can start doing this.
Absolutely, and this is something you can actually do with your clients or for your clients as well. Just follow this framework because it's great for producing any type of content, video, blog posts. You were saying you did it as part of like outreach as well?
Yeah, 100%. I'll use this for an email, if I'm reaching out to an influencer to try and get their attention, I'll just use this promise, problem, process. It's a very truncated version, but I'll try and use this for any piece of content that I produce. When I do keynote presentations, when I run full-day workshops, any piece of content usually starts with this framework.
Yeah, yep, beautiful. So rookie mistake really when it comes to someone who might be just getting started with creating content right now is 1, not using this framework, 2, overthinking and just going, oh, what's the perfect piece of content? It's about getting into a habit and into a system of producing content. So the sooner you can get through this, the better. It's going to feel uncomfortable doing it the first time, for sure. So the rookie mistake is really people stopping, getting through that. They get uncomfortable and they just stop.
Just like folk dancing, it will be uncomfortable the first time you do it.
Yeah. So, I was wondering who was going to break that pause. So there we go. There we have it. That is the content creation framework. This is the last episode of Silence is Golden for the year.
It's been fun.
It has been fun.
I think we've come a long way.
Yeah, it's looking pretty cool. I'd love to know what you'd love to learn in 2018 as well. I'd love to know what you think of the set, what you think about the delivery of this. If there's anything in particular you'd love to know, send us a comment. Subscribe, of course, on YouTube, and let us know what you think. We'd love to create a show that's all about you and the best that we can for you in 2018.
Awesome. I look forward to coming back after the holiday season. Happy Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever it is that you're celebrating over the next few weeks. Stay safe, have fun with your family, and as Simon said, leave us some comments and feedback and tell us what you'd like to learn next about starting and growing and scaling and running your WordPress consulting business. I'm having a great time. I hope you are too, dude.
Definitely.
Awesome. I'm going to get you one of these bar stools.
Yeah.
There you go. You've made it. Good stuff. I'm Simon Kelly.
I'm Merry Christmas.
He's Troy Dean. See you next year, gang. Go elevate.